Thanks for tuning in to this week's Elevate Your Game. We got a great product from Guaranteed Trust Life that we're going to talk about. So with no further ado, why don't you take it away, Greg Esposito?
Good morning, everybody. It's Greg Esposito with Guaranteed Trust. Thanks to everybody for tuning in today. Got a great new plan to tell you about called Short-Term Home Health Care. Also, glad you tuned in because what we're all about at GTL is helping you to grow your business. And we think we've got a couple things that can really help do that. Obviously, there's some certain keys that will really help to grow your business. The first one, increasing your number of clients. Now, many of you have been selling GTL for quite a while. You know that the GTL plans are great referral generators. We believe that this short-term home health care plan is going to be exactly the same, get you those same great referral generating results. Increasing your average sale per client, or let's just say the amount of policies you have in that household. Well, the GTL plan gives you a great reason to cross-sell a great plan to them, and then you've got another plan in their house. Going to be a lot harder to lose that client because they're definitely going to love the GTL plan and the riders that we have available on it. And we all know there's some busy times during the year, and there's some that there's a little bit of a lag. Sometimes you're just looking for those opportunities when there's a lag to reach out to your clients, talk to them about a new plan, see if it works for them. Well, we think the new short-term home health care plan is going to be a great reason to do just that. And as you start to talk about GTL, you're going to start noticing the more familiar you get with us as a company that we have a full suite of products that we do offer. They're not available in every state that we do business, but just give sales support a call sometime when you have a couple down minutes and just see what we do have available in your state. Now, I know exactly what you're thinking. You just saw 9 products come up on your screen, and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I didn't tune in to watch about all of those today, right? Absolutely not. We're going to talk about one plan. That's what we like to do, focus on one plan at a time. And today, it's the short-term home health care plan. Now, here's a great reason that you tuned in today. I'm sure that you already have clients that are already taking prescription drugs, really haven't taken the time to plan for that future care that they'll need down the road, or maybe the kids are worried that their parents haven't planned and they're going to be counting on them for that future care. Maybe they already tried to get some type of a long-term care plan or some other type of assisted living, nursing home plan, home health care plan, and they just found that they really couldn't qualify for it or they couldn't afford it. So if you have clients in this situation, then they're not already getting that type of care, or they don't have issues with their ADLs or a cognitive impairment already, well, you're going to be really thrilled that you tuned in today, and they're going to be thrilled too. So right now, the state availability for short-term home health care plan, pretty solid. And we expect this footprint to grow and grow. So if you don't see that your state has it approved already, we're probably already working on it. And the great news is with all of the states that you see on the screen so far, the vast majority, with the exception of 2, Kentucky and Colorado, have approved the entire plan and the suite of riders that we have today that we're going to talk about. So really nice approval process going on so far, and we hope to come to a state that is your resident state if it's not already on the board. So super cool agenda today, just a little bit about GTL. We're going to talk about why there's a need for short-term home health care, show you the product, the features, introduce a great consumer video and infographic that we have to help you cross-sell the plan, and then we'll just kind of finish up with how you can get the biz to us, how we process claims, and then you're going to have a great rest of the week. So let's get started. Tell you a little bit about GTL. If you're not familiar with Guaranteed Trust, this is what we look like on a beautiful sunny day in Glenview, Illinois. That's where we're located. Now, we do business in 49 states. The one state we do not work in is New York. Now, we're a mutual insurance company, and I think most of you agree that as an insurance agent, these are really great things to know about the carrier you're working with. But if you're sitting across the table from Mr. and Mrs. Smith, probably the mutual insurance company, all these other facts are probably not that important to them. What we want to convey to them, get them comfortable applying for coverage with GTL. GTL's been around over 82 years taking care of policyholders. AM Best rating in their top tier with a B++. Zero debt on the balance sheet. Plenty of money in surplus to take care of future claims. These are the things that, if you're sitting across the table from a client, I think are really important to bring up about GTL. Now, if you're not working with GTL and you're trying to get an idea of exactly what type of company we are, what we really focus on, we're about ancillary products that help clients take care of out-of-pocket costs when they have healthcare events. We've been the leader in this. This is what we specialize in. So if you have not worked with GTL, this is what you can expect. Quality service at a fast pace. We do everything here quickly and efficiently, whether that means getting contracted and that taking less than a day, or being able to submit paper applications that are underwritten very quickly, or e-application platforms that are underwritten in seconds. Commissions are paid weekly. Anything issued by 5 p.m. on Wednesday, commissions go out the door the next morning. And when it comes to processing claims, we're very fast at that too. And we like to boast that we are about 5 days faster than the national average for processing claims. What you'll find with the new short-term home health care plan is it's like all GTL products that you're familiar with. It's built for use, meaning when clients have out-of-pocket expenses for this type of situation, they can use this plan. You're also going to find this product very easy to explain to them, and it will work exactly as you explain it to them. Now, the other side of the equation is we want to increase our commissions. We also want to generate referrals, and we want to sell a policy that people really enjoy using, find very valuable, and keep. This is what you're going to find today, a great combination of a winning platform for you and your clients. So why did GTL come out with a short-term home health care plan? Well, the first thing we know is that Americans, if given the choice, have some type of situation they would like to recuperate at home as opposed to some other type of facility. We also want to develop a product that was easy to explain to them, and also one that will pay them the benefits they have coming from GTL regardless of any other insurance. That's kind of a key point, so try to keep that in mind when I'm talking about the benefits, features of this plan. We don't care what other type of insurance they may have in force. We're going to pay them the benefits regardless of any type of other insurance they have. We got some other bells and whistles here that kind of separate us from the crowd when it comes to short-term home health care, like no hospitalization required for home health care aid benefits to kick in. So let's get into it a little bit. First thing, we're not going to spend a lot of time on the actual need for short-term home health care. I think most of us know that. But I did want to point out something that I found pretty interesting. It's great news that less people are dying of the types of cancers, strokes, HIV, things that really in the past have caused a large death toll. We're getting better. Treatments are getting better. But when it comes to Alzheimer's, dementia, we got a situation where that's still creeping up, and every 66 seconds somebody's being diagnosed. And that's certainly not the only reason you'd want to talk to a client about home health care, but it's certainly a big one. And when you start looking at how people take care of those out-of-pocket expenses that they have, or how the insurance coverage they have takes care of those type of expenses, dealing with Alzheimer's, dementia, you can see that there's a big piece of the pie. Look at that orange section, or other, where that's coming out of pocket. And kind of to cut to the chase, if you want to kind of glance down to the bottom paragraph there, the bolded part, where it says on average, Medicare beneficiaries age 65 and older with Alzheimer's or other dementias paid about $10,315 out of pocket annually for health care, long-term care services not covered by other sources. So again, this is really not the only reason to talk to them about a short-term home health care plan, but I think it's a really important one. Now, the plan we're going to talk about today has three main components to the base plan. There's also three different plans to choose from, and you can get the policy from age 40 to 85. You can keep it past 85, and we're going to keep it simple. We're going to keep unisex rates there, and the three components of the base plan are prescription drug benefits, home health care benefits, home health care aid benefits. Now, I don't want you to think that you have to memorize everything on the screen here, because we're going to go through each component one by one. The reason for this particular slide is just to show you that there are three different components, and there's also three different plans to choose from. So you see under home health care benefits on the left side, you see a column for Plan A, Plan B, Plan C, and the same thing for the other two components. One thing that's great to point out at this particular point in the presentation is that if you choose Plan A, let's say for home health care benefits, you will also have Plan A for the other two components. So you cannot mix and match plans. So whatever plan you choose, you'll have for all three components. So let's move on and start talking about the prescription drug benefit. This is the first component. Now here's something that if you're taking notes, it's definitely worth writing down. Once the person has the GTL policy, they can start immediately receiving prescription drug benefits for the prescriptions they're already taken. So when they purchase this plan, nothing has to happen for them for the prescription drug benefits to kick in. So once they have the policy, they can immediately start getting $10 per generic prescription or refill, or $25 per brand name prescription or refill. And if you're getting Plan A, you can get up to $300 per year in those prescription drug benefits. Plan B and C, you can get up to $600 per year. So as you stop to think about your current block of business, how many clients do you have that are already taking prescriptions, that maybe haven't taken the time to have a plan of care put together, maybe tried to but couldn't afford that long-term care plan or some other type of plan? Now you've got a way to go ahead and bring this up. They're already taking prescriptions, and they'll start being able to receive prescription benefits from GTL immediately once they have this policy, which can help offset the premium for this plan. So let's show you a couple examples of how this works. Let's say a 65-year-old bought Plan A, and over the first 12 months of their policy, they had 5 brand name prescriptions filled and 10 generic prescriptions filled. So that's a total of $225 of prescription drug benefits that they would get in the first 12 months of their policy. Now, a 65-year-old buying Plan A, which would include all 3 components, prescription drug, home health care aide benefits, their annual policy at that age is $294.45. So just in the first 12 months of the policy, they can get $225 back from GTL. So their average net cost of this plan was $5.79 per month. And they still have the home health care and home health care aide benefits coming if they need them. So here's some questions from doing some trainings already on this that may be going through your mind with regard to the prescription drug benefits. First thing, Greg, are you saying that a person will get $25 per brand name prescription even on their refills? Absolutely. So if you do the math, if somebody is taking one prescription drug that's a brand name and they get it filled every month, that prescription alone is going to be worth to them $300 in prescription drug benefits from GTL. Generics, are you wondering if they work the same way? They absolutely do. Any generic prescription refill of that is going to get them $10 all the way up to their maximum benefit, whether it's up to $300 per year or $600 if they got Plan B or C. Now, you may have some clients that are actually getting their refills done on a quarterly basis. Maybe that saves them some money. Now, it's important to know that if your clients that are doing that are using this policy, that 3-month supply, that's going to actually count as one benefit from GTL. So it may be more cost-effective for them to change that prescription to get it refilled monthly and get the benefits from GTL, the most that they can get. This is the big one that a lot of people wonder when I do this presentation. They're saying, are you saying that if my client has some other type of drug care program where maybe their copay is only $5, or when they get a prescription their copay is $0, is GTL really going to pay them $25 per brand name prescription and refill and $10 per generic? Absolutely. So remember, this plan is built to pay policyholders the benefits they have coming regardless of any other insurance they have. So let's move on. Let's get to the second component of the plan, which is home health care. Now, this component does require something to happen to the policyholder after policy issue in order for the home health care benefits to kick in. And one of those two things is a cognitive impairment. The other one, functional impairment, which we define in the policy as not being able to do at least 2 of the 6 ADLs. So once one of those two things happen, now they have a benefit period that lasts for 360 days. And this is important to write down if you're taking notes. When I say 360 days, not talking about a calendar year, I'm talking about 360 days of benefits paid to them. There is a restoration feature on the base plan, which basically says if you exhaust the 360 days of payments and then the client does not need the home health care benefits for 180 consecutive days, this plan would restore. Now let's break down how this works. If you buy Plan A, you can get up to $150 of benefits per day. And you can see the benefits would add up depending upon what type of care you got. So if you got physical therapy or speech therapy, those are each $75 under Plan A in terms of benefits. So if you got both of those in a day, that's $150 of benefits. Now, you see we've got a box here that says Plan A is up to $54,000 in home health care benefits. How do we get that number? That's $150 of daily benefits paid 360 times. Now, under Plan B, you get more dollars for each type of service. So you can get up to $300 per day of those services that you see on the left hand of the screen. So when we do 360 payments times the maximum 300 per day, you get 108,000 of home health care benefits available with Plan B. And when we do Plan C, that's our highest benefit plan for home health care. You can get up to 450 of any of those benefits totaling. So you get 162,000 of maximum home health care benefits. Now let's take a look and see how this works. We've got that same client who's 65 years old. They have Plan A. They unfortunately suffered a stroke, and over 10 days, they received 10 speech and 10 physical therapy sessions, or treatments, if you will. So those are each $75 payouts. They have Plan A, so they can get up to $150 per day in benefits. We can see both of those add up to a total of $150. So for those 10 days, they're going to get a benefit of $1,500 from GTL. Now remember, that 65-year-old buying Plan A, their annual premium was $294.45. And remember, they're probably getting some prescription benefits too during that year. Let's look at the third component, which is home health care aide benefits. Now, some of the key things you see, first off, Plan A, Plan B, Plan C, you can see what the payments are on a daily basis. It's important to know there's no prior hospitalization required with the GTL short-term home health care plan. So if they start having the need for these, claim benefits will be paid even if they didn't have a hospitalization before. Now, there's a maximum benefit for home health care aide of 60 days of payments. So again, 60 different days where we would pay out 40, 80, or 120, depending upon the plan they have. So if you're wondering with the home health care and the home health care aide benefits, if a client could take a lot longer than, let's say, 60 days to exhaust their home health care aide benefits, yeah, they absolutely could, because it's actually 60 days of payments made to them. They're getting a treatment every other day or every third day. You could see it could take a lot longer to exhaust the benefits. Now let's see what these add up to here. Plan A up to $2,400, $4,800 for Plan B, $7,200 for Plan C. And that's basically taking the daily benefit, timesing it by 60 payments. So I know what you're thinking. Are you saying that a 65-year-old could get up to $54,000 of home health care benefits, up to $2,400 of home health care aide benefits, and up to $300 per year in prescription drug benefits for an annual premium cost of $294.45? Absolutely. That's exactly what we're saying. So there's something else that's really important. It's a benefit that you're not going to find anywhere else in the industry other than GTL. when things happen to people, even if it's a serious diagnosis, or maybe something as simple as they wake up with the flu and they don't know exactly how to treat it, or maybe they're given a new medication, most of the time people go to Google. Well, our short-term home health care policyholders aren't going to have to do that because we have an arrangement with the Mayo Clinic, which provides Ask Mayo Clinic benefits to our short-term home health care policyholders. Now, the first thing I'll draw your attention to is the left side. The first green check mark basically says, historically, people who use the Ask Mayo Clinic benefits are actually guided to a lower, more appropriate level of care. So let's take a look and see what these benefits are. And there's actually 3 prongs to it. First one, Ask Mayo Clinic Nurse Line. This is going to be the line your policyholders call when maybe they wake up with the flu, or maybe they twisted their ankle and they don't want to put hot or cold on it, or maybe it's the holidays or the weekend and they can't get a hold of their doctor. Well, they can pick up the phone and call the Ask Mayo Clinic 24/7 and get some advice to help them. And they also, at the Ask Mayo Clinic, they have a nice online health symptom drill down system. So think about this. They can log in, put in their symptoms, and get a pretty good idea of what they may have. I will tell you that compared to other online symptom checkers, diagnosis systems, this one really is much more detailed and a much better drill down result is attained. This is one that I did earlier, just putting in some flu symptoms, and you can see at the end of it, it says, looks like you have the flu. Here's the number to call, the Ask Mayo Clinic. Give the nurse this reference number. So these are nice things to have, a 24/7 nurse hotline, and also for people who like to go online and rather do that, they can do that. Now, the main reason we reached out to the Mayo Clinic was neither one of these two. The main reason was we wanted to have something special for our policyholders if they were unfortunately diagnosed with a critical illness. That's what we have. So if that happens, you have the Ask Mayo Clinic available to help you explain the test results. Look at the dosage of the medications and the medications that your doctor is giving you. Look at the treatment and the treatment frequency that your doctor is giving you. Help you find a second opinion. Are there other treatment options out there, clinical trials, experimental treatments that are available that maybe your doctor hasn't told you about? Well, what better source than to reach out to the Ask Mayo Clinic staff to get some of this helpful information. So this comes with the plan that we're talking about today. So as we start looking at the pricing for this plan, I want you to understand that what we're looking at are those 3 components: the prescription drug benefit, home health care benefits, home health care aide benefits, and the Ask Mayo Clinic services, all included in the pricing you see on your screen. Now, for those of you taking notes or just kind of relaxing, watching the presentation, here's something you definitely need to remember about the home health care plan. When it comes to the base plan, policyholders will pay the rate based upon their issue age, but then as they get older, the rate will increase. So let's take an example here. 65-year-old getting Plan A, they're going to pay $22.87 per month. And when they reach 71 years of age, then their premium is going to change. It's going to go $31.18 per month. And when they hit age 76, you get the drift here. This premium does increase as they get older, but you can see it happens every 5 or 6 years. So if you're wondering about the underwriting on this plan, this is where, if you're not excited by now, you're really going to get excited. When clients tend to try to get short-term care plans or long-term care plans, you know there's a lot of information that needs to be answered on the application, some medical background checks, maybe even RX checks. We don't worry about that with this plan. So think about your clients that have prescriptions they're taking right now. Think of the ones that haven't planned for any type of care when they get older. Can they answer these first 2 questions? No. First question, is the applicant currently getting nursing home, assisted living facility, or receiving home health care or similar type of benefits? If they can check the box no, they're halfway home for Plan A or Plan B. Second question, is the applicant unable to perform their ADLs or do they already have a cognitive impairment? If they can check the box no, they can get Plan A or Plan B. They are done. That's the only underwriting that's on this product. So no MIB, no phone interview, nothing else. Now, if they want to get Plan C, which is our highest plan, that's the one that can get you up to $600 per year in prescriptions, up to $450 per day times 360 in home health care, and up to $120 per day for 60 payments of home health care aid. If they want to do that, then they're going to also have to answer the third question. In the next 60 days, does the applicant expect to be admitted to a hospital, nursing home, assisted living facility, or require home health care services or have surgery? That's the entire application for coverage. Now, if the client answers either one of these questions no, they cannot get the coverage. So very simple, short application. Okay, so sometimes, agents are able to just call up their clients and they say, you know what, do you have a plan of care, or can I ask during the appointment for a different type of plan if the clients do have some type of plan of care set up. And if you're looking for a fun way to introduce the plan to them, we do have a consumer video that you can play for them, maybe at an appointment, or something that you could even email them to go ahead and get this prospect interested in the plan. Let me show you the video.
There's no bed like your own. And if you suffer an illness or have an accident, the last thing you would want to do is recover in an unfamiliar, hectic environment like a hospital or nursing home. Focus on your recovery in the comfort of your own home with short-term home health care insurance from Guarantee Trust Life Insurance Company. Think about your family situation. You may be reaching that age where planning for future care is necessary, or maybe your parents are reminding you they don't want to go to a nursing home. How could being unprepared for either yours or your parents' need for care affect your finances and way of life? GTL's short-term home health care insurance is more affordable than most other plan of care policies, and it pays benefits directly to you regardless of any other insurance you have. Home health care benefits kick in if you suffer a cognitive disability or can't perform 2 of the 6 ADLs, and no hospital stay is required. The base plan consists of 3 main components, and there are 3 different base plans for you to choose from to match the level of coverage you want. With the home health care benefit, your chosen plan pays a benefit for up to 360 payments for a variety of services, including skilled nursing, physical therapy, and general nursing care. With our most comprehensive plan, you can receive up to $162,000 of home health care benefits. With the home health care aide benefit, you can receive a daily benefit for each day you require the services of a home health care aide, depending on your chosen plan, and no hospitalization stay is required. Most likely you're taking at least 1 prescription medication. With the prescription drug benefit, you can receive benefits for any prescriptions that are filled after the policy is in effect. Just filling your normal prescriptions can help offset the cost of the policy itself. Now let's see how it works. Say you're 65 years old, have the Plan A policy, and take 1 brand name prescription that you refilled 10 times over the year. A GTL short-term home health care insurance policy would pay you a total benefit amount of $250 over those 12 months. With an annual policy premium of $294.45, the net cost of the policy would be less than $4 a month. And this is not even including any home health care benefits you may receive. Policyholders can also have access to Ask Mayo Clinic services 24 hours a day. Receive personalized support and trusted medical guidance for your health-related questions from the experts at Mayo Clinic. Short-term home health care insurance from GTL is flexible and customizable, with a great set of riders for you to choose from. And with only 2 or 3 underwriting questions, you don't have to worry about a long application process or medical exams. So, for a fair premium, wouldn't you rather receive professional care at home? Now is a great
So
time
there's
to
our
find out
consumer
more about
video. I think
GTL's
hopefully you
short-term
find
home
it
healthcare
really
insurance.
something you'd like to show your clients. This is a video link that we are making available to the agents, and we're more than happy to email that out. Now, let's just say that you're looking for a prospecting piece or something to kind of further explain the product at the presentation itself. We have our infographic. So the first page of it, it's only one page, but two-sided, if you will, kind of explains the product, how it works, the benefits you can get, and even runs through a nice prescription drug benefit. Now the second page continues talking about the benefits, the home health care, the home health care aide, also talks about referencing the Mayo Clinic benefits. Most important part, if you're looking for a prospecting piece, you can put your contact info in the contact area. You can pop this in the mail to your clients as an approved consumer piece. You can call the sales support to order some of these pieces. They will come unmonogrammed, if you will, with regard to the contact info. Or we have a fillable PDF that we can email you, so you could actually open it up on your computer screen, put your info in there, and print some out for yourself. So nice ways to help bring up the plan, nice ways to help cross-sell it, and explain how it works. Now you may be wondering, filing a claim, how does that work? Well, a couple different things, and we're trying to make this process really simple for the policyholders. And keep in mind, when it comes to claims, we do not expect GTL agents to be involved in the process. The most we really ask you to do is let them know when they have a claim. They can contact GTL for how to get that thing started, and we really do try to make sure it's a very easy process for them. Prescription drug benefits. While the receipt that comes on their prescription bag or in the mail with their prescription refill, we'd like a copy of that. No claim form needs to be filled out, just the receipts. The reason we need the receipt, well, we need to see if it's generic or brand name, so we know what to pay them for. So how often should they do this? Well, they can do it whenever they like. We're suggesting annually, but just keep in mind it's flexible. If they want to send us in monthly or quarterly, semi-annual, annually, it's up to them. With regard to home health care aide benefits, we have a short claim form. Those of you who are familiar with our hospital indemnity claim form, very short, very similar, just like that. Now, the first time they go on claim for home health care or home health care aide benefits, they're going to complete that short form. They're also going to include a plan of care from their physician, basically saying, yeah, my client has a cognitive impairment, or they can't do 2 of their 6 ADLs. And then they'll include their proof of service. Now, the nice thing in that claim form that we have from GTL, there's a HIPAA form. So once we have that, if the client maybe doesn't send us the right bill, we can reach out and get that for them. That's all part of the reason and part of how we try to keep this claim process simple for the clients. Now, if you're doing home health care aide claims, you're only going to have to complete that claim form once. The next time you send in bills to us, proof of service, if you will, that's all we're going to need. And the frequency that you do that, well, that's pretty much up to the client too. We suggest monthly, but it's really up to them. As we start getting into some other riders that are available on this plan, like our incredible ambulance rider, hospital indemnity rider, some of the others, well, those you're just going to complete the claim form, include the bill, and you're going to probably do those as they occur. Okay, so let's get into some of the great riders we have on this plan. Now, we've got a lot of agents with us today, and thank you so much for joining. Many of you sell our standalone hospital indemnity plan called Advantage Plus or Indemnity Plus. A key thing I want to point out when you start looking at this hospital indemnity rider on the short-term home health care plan, key to know, like the base plan for the short-term home health care, hospital indemnity rider rates do increase over time. And we'll get into that later, and I'll show you the example. But just in case you're wondering, the big difference between our standalone hospital indemnity, where the rates do not increase as clients get older, and the rider we're talking about now, if they purchase the hospital indemnity rider, rates will increase as they get older. Now, the 3-day or the 6-day benefit period that they have to choose from, or the 100 up to 300 per day in benefits that they get for hospitalization, very similar to our hospital indemnity standalone plan. So the 3-day or 6-day benefit periods, they restore an unlimited amount of times after 60 days of no hospitalizations. One thing that is a little bit different with regard to the hospital indemnity rider is that once you buy the policy, there is a 30-day wait for sickness hospitalization claims. Also, as I mentioned earlier, it's really important to know when you buy the hospital indemnity rider on the short-term home health care plan, premium rates do increase over time. So when you think about adding the hospital indemnity rider to the client's coverage, it's a nice opportunity for those clients that may want to get that standalone hospital indemnity plan, but they can't because they can't answer some of the questions that are on the standalone application, like have you been in the hospital in the past 12 months? But you'll notice I already showed you the application questions on today's short-term home health care plan. There's no question with regard to that. So you may have some clients with some health issues that can't get our standalone plan, but will be able to get our hospital indemnity rider. So there's your target market for this. Somebody who needs home health care, maybe can't get the hospital indemnity plan that's standalone. Let's get them the hospital indemnity rider coverage here. Now the 6-month pre-X that you're used to on our standalone hospital indemnity plan, exactly the same here. So somebody who purchases this plan today, their policy goes into effect today. Their pre-X is anything that their doctor told them in the 6 months preceding the issue of their policy, something like, Greg, you need to go schedule that left hip surgery. Well, that's going to be pre-existing. So, or you need to go into the hospital to get these tests run. So if they were told that in the 6 months prior to getting their short-term home health care plan with the hospital indemnity rider on it, well, those types of situations are not going to be covered unless they occurred after 6 months of having the plan. So very simple pre-X. And if you need any more information on that, we're more than happy to tackle that question when you give us a call. Okay, so let's take a quick look at the hospital indemnity rider pricing. And I'm just going to reinforce here that somebody who's 65 buys a 6-day benefit period, $8.12 per month, going to increase to $9.78 per month when they reach age 71. So again, this rider does increase for everybody when they reach the next age band. So let's start talking about some of the other riders that we have available. We have the best ambulance rider in the business. Now the reason I say that is because it's really easy to explain and it works exactly as a policyholder would expect. Mr. and Mrs. Smith, when you have the ambulance rider from GTL, if you take an ambulance to go to the hospital, you get $200. Very simple, easy to explain. You do not need to be admitted. A lot of our competition, if they have an ambulance rider of their product, if they take an ambulance and they're not admitted, they don't get any money. We don't mess with that at GTL. We keep it simple. You can use the hospital ambulance rider up to 4 times per year. And you can be paid up to $2,500 over the lifetime of the policy. Once you exhaust that $2,500 in benefits, we're going to remove the rider from the policy and the premium will go down. So really easy to explain and should be on just about every application. There's a critical accident rider. Basically what this is for accidental death and also some things that tend to happen to clients as they get a little bit older, fall and fracture their hip or their skull, issues with the knees, other types of fractures. These are going to give them a lump sum payment. Dental vision rider. Now, let me explain how this works. Your target market, first thing, there is no network with our dental vision rider. So any dentist, any eye doctor in the United States, viable option for this rider. Now, let's look at the benefits that a client can get with regard to this rider. In the first calendar year, you get 80% of actual charges paid to them up to half of the benefit period, meaning the most they can get is $200, $400, or $1,200 in the first calendar year. In the second calendar year, 80% of actual charges up to the $400, $800, or $1,200 benefit level they signed up for. So if you're following with me so far, you probably already figured out that the later in the year that you purchase this rider, the faster you hit your second calendar year. So if you purchase this rider in November, you're only going to be in that first calendar year until the calendar turns on January 1st. Once you have the rider for 3 months, you can start using it for preventative care, for dentist, eye exams. And there's no deductible to worry about for preventative care. So there's no $100 annual deductible they need to satisfy in order to get that first $75 for getting a preventative dental exam. As we have this rider a little longer, after 6 months, you see there's benefits available for fillings, root canals, and another wellness benefit pops up there, $200 for prescription eyewear or contact replacement. After 12 months, more invasive types of procedures, bridges, crowns, dentures. So when we start looking at this rider, one thing that we should see is that somebody who goes to the dentist, goes to the eye doctor every year and may replace their eyewear or contacts, well, they've got up to $325 of wellness benefits they can get from GTL each and every year. So another target market for somebody is if they go to the doctor, go to the eye doctor, probably going to replace their eyewear or contacts every year, might be a good candidate for this rider. When we start looking at the cost benefit, 65-year-old getting the maximum $1,200 benefit level, they max out their wellness benefits of $325, and their premium is $443. So their actual net cost, $9.83 per month. Somebody who gets the $800 level at 65 years of age, same type of situation, maxing out the wellness benefits, you can bring this down to less than $5 a month. And the $400 benefit, if you max them out, you can actually make $6 by having this rider. So quick synopsis, no network, people who go to the doctor, maybe going to replace their eyewear, contacts, this could be a really good rider to mention to them. Okay, and if you're looking with regard to the rates for the ambulance rider, dental vision rider, you can see what they are on the screen. Critical accident rider. So this is a great point for me to just tell you something to keep it really simple with regard to the base plans and the riders. Here's the way that I like to keep it in mind. The base plan and the hospital indemnity rider, those are the two that will increase as the policyholder ages. All of the other riders that we talked about today, once they purchase them, that's the rate that they stay as they get older. Okay, so when you're wondering how to get this business to us, we like to keep it flexible. We like you to do business the way you want to with GTL. So if you want to use a paper application, that's great. You could mail it. You could fax it. You could scan email it right to GTL Underwriting. Either of those options works great. We do have an electronic platform for both your Apple or your Android device. You take your pick. Now, with either of those devices, as you're familiar with, you're using that device to set up their coverage, and then they're going to sign your device screen with their finger. That's how we attain their signature. And, of course, they're signing the paper application. That's how we get their signature. We have another platform. It's called our Agent Portal or PC platform. So maybe you're not going to travel around the state, going to each and everyone's house to explain this plan and sign them up. Maybe you want to screen share, and then you want to use GTL's Agent Portal platform on your PC from your office to sign them up for coverage. Well, you can do that. One thing that is different with regard to the PC platform, it doesn't really give the client an option to sign anywhere, to authorize the policy, authorize us to draft. So only with the PC platform do they need to pick up the phone and do about a 3-minute verification call. We do not ask any health questions, just verifying their identity and the product that they want to purchase, and that they understand that they need to pay for it in order to keep it. So we've been using the verification service for about 6 years now. The average call is 3 minutes and 8 seconds and works really well. One key point, 95% of these calls go through the first time perfectly. The 5% that don't are generally the people can't remember the name of the product they're purchasing. So if you're going to have a client doing this verification call, make sure they know it's called short-term home health care or home health care insurance. Those are going to work great. So if you want to use the GTL e-app to either quote or complete an online application, what you're going to be looking for at the App Store or Google Play is GTL E-app. That's the name of the app. And great to know that when you do use this app, not only can you quote and sell the short-term home health care plan, you could also cross-sell another GTL plan on the same application process. So if you need stuff down the road with regard to supplies, you can always call GTL sales support. You can always ask GTL sales support for anything that we covered today with regard to the product, how it works, how do I use the agent portal or the e-app, how do I quote it, anything like that. Reach out to sales support at 800-323-6907. You can also email them at agency@gtlic.com. So use sales support when needed for pretty much anything you need. Now, I want to thank everybody for tuning in today. I think you're going to love this plan, and I really do appreciate you tuning in.
Thanks, Greg. That was an awesome webinar. So for any agents out there that aren't contracted with GTL yet, feel free just to go to myfieldtrainer.com and click on the Contact Us tab. Or if you have any questions you want answered, feel free to go to myfieldtrainer.com and click on the Contact Us tab.